Hello everyone, and welcome back to our continual Let's Play of Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Versus pink glasses.
Yes, pink glasses are a horrible crime.
I don't know how he got those, or how you even wear those.
Oh no.
Like it doesn't look like one of those see-through glasses. It looks literally like he took normal glasses and got like a Feldmark and two over them.
Yeah, it does. And so I don't know, like, and it's funny, I've never seen him look through them. They just kind of sit on his nose and he looks over them.
Yeah, but you probably can't see through them.
Yeah. Let's see, it had nothing to do with the forgery. I don't really know what to present here. You sure it's... I mean...
But there's nothing else.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else. It was like we were questioning that day. And our power outage didn't help, which at first the statement sounded suspicious, but he actually explained it in his thing when we presented. It didn't help because he took the wrong
He got
direction.
stuck, yes.
Yeah. Well, I went to my office, I found Lana there. And we should already arrange the crime scene. See, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Look at the picture again, the one that he took. Okay, so there's a vase, and then there's a guy
Right.
that's stabbed. Is it? The thing is, they don't let you look at the freaking like room, right?
Right. I can't. Really...
Because they say that the body was like moved to the left, but like for all you know, could have been that the things were placed differently back then.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can see here, there's the vase and this thing going on, but we can't really. It's kind of hard to prove that that was different, I think.
Go to the vase.
Oh, sure thing. Vase.
Find a fragment found in Chief Gaunt's safe. But the thing is, like, does it safe things count or not? Because, I mean, that's kind of obvious.
Yeah.
The thing is, then there would be two things that you can show, so that doesn't make sense.
Dark red stains must be blood juice from 2 years ago. Fragments found in Chief Gaunt's office tell us lines remaining on it.
I would show that. I mean, it might be wrong, but I mean, like, technically, like, if you can say that it's from the fucking safe,
Yeah.
at worst we get one strike.
Show it here?
Yeah.
Objection! Yep, you have it. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up.
Explain yourself.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example. That's the blue badger you showed us earlier.
Damn it! Let him die already!
Yeah, seriously, people are like, that jar is a blue badger. It's like,
You're terrified of it now.
yeah. A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe.
Huh.
Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk. It was found here where? You see, Chief Gaunt, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in this illegal investigation.
Also, that we broke into your office, but don't care about that.
Yep. Chief Gaunt, what's the meaning of this?
Ho. Ho, ho, ho.
Whoa. The game just skipped a beat.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was it, but yeah. Here's a defense attorney who may have even rivaled Warzy.
So, you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery.
Who? Me? What do you mean, you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with it?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't it right, Vital? Objection! However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Was he, my boy? Not even detectives are exempt from the law, only I am. And technically defense attorney till I decide to change that.
Dude.
Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. That sounds painful.
Yeah, I know.
Vo-
What? Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further. He'll end up paying to work.
that is brilliant, I love that.
That's pretty good. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office, and the relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. At least the judge is being cruel.
My. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. I'm pretty sure the guy is older than you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you know, the judge was just referring to, you're calling him kids, a kid. Evidence forgery.
Let's see. What was it now? A jaw fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they are worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene won't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
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 You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
But you don't work with the police. Indeed, I believe I will press the charges so you won't make the same mistakes again. Oh, that face is beautiful though.
Yeah, I know. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know.
Alright, Archie. In return, though.
I know. That place, right? Huh? What are these guys telepathic?
I'm just gonna take that in the worst way you could.
Yeah, I know, that sounds pretty bad. That place, right? Ah, yeah, I know you love that place, Mr. Gaunt. Hold it!
We're not mature enough for this game.
This game's not mature enough for itself, it's fine. I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations.
Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that.
What? All of you know, back in the day, I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped. But Mr. Wright, what are you saying?
Anyway, you can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're going to need it later. Later? Are you talking about that? What are you talking about? I don't even know what I fucking read there.
That's fine. What else? Oh, yeah.
What else? I'm talking about when your fingerprints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove your investigation was illegal.
Grrr. Never faced anyone as slimy as this guy.
Because he's using the law. I mean, he's slimy, but that's not really his worst crime. I mean, he did break into his safe.
Yeah, he did break into his safe, but he is still a dick. Hold it! What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
Objection! If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery...
I'm not so speaking yet, Mr. Void. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
Wow. derped again. But anyways, I don't know. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird argument to make that actually isn't very great on his part. It depends when it was discovered, and it's like, if it's relevant to the case, I don't really think it matters that much, no.
I don't know.
That's kind of like saying, oh yeah, you know that gun who shot that guy? I had it in my safe, but you know, I had it in the safe months after that guy was shot with it, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue is that I don't know, whatever. Because
yeah. Hold it! Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
it would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have been suddenly materialized a day after Doug was sentenced.
Objection!
Oh,
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
right. The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't know.
Come on now, Mr. White. Think about it.
Man, my hands get sore from this game sometimes, but it's awesome. Hold it!
Don't hit just in the game.
Your face gets sore from the game, and more than the game.
Yes.
No. How can you look me in the eye and say that?
It's because I have glasses. Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here.
Hey, someone fucking said it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad. But in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye.
Well, now you see.
Oh, sorry, hold it! I object to my holding it.
Objection to blah blah blah.
Really, Chief Gaunt? At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all of this. I almost read raped.
He did that too, buddy.
Yeah. Probably.
Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would of course be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Ho 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 ho. Oh, that's a good one.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
Yes, I do. What do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of the SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. But no one ever told you because you're kinda dumb. Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at.
Yeah, I still say, I don't know how lined up he was, but I still say it's sufficient motive. I mean, why work a job for 5 years to get another job that you want when you can just instantly take the job that you want?
Right, I agree it's motive, but without evidence it wouldn't be enough to go on.
Right. I know it's not enough to open up anything. I'm just saying, you know, it's still, I'm still not, taking it out of the motive possibility list. But you are right. It still doesn't prove anything.
I think what more was important is that he took over he had the woman under his control. That's what it really was about.
Right.
I don't know why no one is pointing that one out.
Yeah, that's true.
So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to quit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else.
Ah. And then Edgeworth did exactly what you were mentioning.
Don't be silly, Wozy. You know me better than that. There's only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I.
Oh, yes. I'm sure he knows that very well. With that
He looks like a
douchebag-ass
badass.
face.
Come on, he looks like a badass.
I won't deny that, but he looks like a douchebag badass.
I take it.
I'll take it if I can punch him. Punch him with evidence.
It is out in the open now. Oh gee, would you mind if I changed my testimony a little?
By all means, please do.
Wait, are you adding that to your testimony?
Apparently so. Well, let's press.
He kind of did imply now that he would be an accomplice if there was something in it for him.
Yeah, I know, seriously. Hold it! Nothing in it for you?
Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl Lana, the little sister, what was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you better think again. You're right, you don't feel sorry for anyone.
Apparently... Oh, huh?
What are we gonna say?
Apparently, I was gonna say, apparently it's hate on Gaunt time, though I certainly agree with that sentiment.
Gaunt is heading on himself.
Yeah, I know, he's hating on himself, but I love that jab from
Yeah.
Edgeworth. He's like, you really don't give a fuck, do you douchebag?
Get funny, like, would you still want him as your chief of police if he just said he doesn't give a fuck about anyone?
Yeah, exactly. You'd assume not, because being the chief of police, you'd want someone who's like, oh yeah, I want the entire city to be amazing and sexy.
But he just has to, like, put a giant orange coat on it. Anyway. What is that fucking
Tough.
word? Tough?
Mhm.
That's tough?
Yeah.
Man, I'm spacing there. Be
That's
tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, that's a good one, Wozy.
Couldn't there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out? A kind of accomplice. Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it, like always.
Yeah, true. You might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might decide to assist someone. Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people hands. Wow, Judge. You're stupid.
You're missing the point.
I think he is too. That's not what I mean. Very well, I'll ask. Who is this person you believe Chief Gaunt may have helped to forge evidence? Well,
Man,
obviously.
this guy.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's
Take
a dead
that!
guy.
Yeah, obviously the dead guy. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events.
And then wrote a book about it.
Yep, and then Lemony Snicket wrote a series of books about it. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lana? As for Chief Gaunt, he would also have a reason to help Lana, if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gaunt. But, how would he profit from all of this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
What? I like... He probably plays with Twilight Sparkle.
Man, a Twilight Sparkle puppet would be hype, but I think the judge is once again missing the point. Did you take your pills this morning, Mr. Judge?
I think his pills ran out like 5 minutes ago.
Probably so, yeah. I was just like, oh wait, you must mean puppet. As in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Your motive? To appoint her as chief prosecutor. So you can control her.
Waiter, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something.
What?
Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
I keep worried that the game's gonna crash. I don't know what's up with those random, like, little, you know...
Yeah,
mess-ups.
I keep thinking that it's just a screenshot, but it isn't. The screenshot is actually not freezing at all today.
Wow, that's amazing. Apparently, instead, Phoenix Wright's like, I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know. Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Scott.
But it's already out. What is she gonna do?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Where's the profits for her anymore? I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless... that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout the entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her.
That's a great screenshot right there. Look
Movies
at that.
everywhere.
Movies everywhere.
That's the first response, right?
Yeah, it is. It's a reasonable response. It's actually, but it's a pretty good shot besides that.
Worzy, you better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Oh wow.
Yeah. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gaunt is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
I wish Lana started rapping.
I know. It's much better than what I read once again, where I read how to take the nap, and I was like, that's why that's why I derped there for a second, because I'm like, I don't think he made Lana take the nap.
He just sleeps.
That actually sounds kind of horrifying. It's time to take a nap, Lana. Whoa, what? Oh, snap!
Yeah, I think he just shattered the old bag there.
Yeah, I know. Order, order, order. I said order! Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh?
I'm being serious, not serious.
Yeah, I know. This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder?
It's kind of my job.
Yeah, it is our job to be awesome and prove that everyone is evil.
I mean, we kind of did that with that really rich guy who, like, bribed you included.
Yeah, I know, seriously. And he still managed to lose. I can only imagine the terrible things that are happening to him in jail now.
Probably, I mean, he like got half the people jailed.
Yeah. That's impossible! Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in an easier to understand language.
It's too late, Mr. White. There's no turning back for us now. We gotta go all out of the closet.
But that's pretty badass. There's no turning back for us now. It's time to kick this guy's ass.
It's time to kick ass and chew my red coat of awesome.
Yep. Looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gaunt is just a man. A giant man in orange, but a man.
Yes. And I have a question for you, Sapere. What is a man?
I don't know. A pony.
I was pretty sure it was a miserable pile of secrets, which is what
That's
Chief
too
Gaunt
obvious.
is.
Wait, no, Chief Gaunt is a miserable pile of secrets in an orange coat.
Yes. But a miserable pile of secrets nonetheless. You may continue.
The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Show us the evidence that ties Chief Gaunt to the murder of Detective Goodman. Just remember, it better be good.
Show him your defense badge.
Hell yeah.
The
this
code.
proves-
I
this
already
proves
know
everything.
it. It's a 7777 code.
Huh?
The code.
Oh, the code?
2 bag.
Oh, two. Oh, wait.
One other one bag.
This one?
Yes. I've been on a roll so far. I believe in me.
Yeah. I believe in you
In this
too.
whole, like, since we've gone back in, since the last save, I've never done anything wrong.
Yeah, you've been on a pretty good roll. Take that! Yep. Good job. I would high-five you if I
I
could.
will high five the judge in spirit.
I'll
high-five
high-five
to
the
his
judge's face.
That's what I just. Yeah, I was gonna say that.
We'll both high-five the judge's face as a team.
Yes, high tennis face.
Yep. This is the ID card list. Yes. The one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID card on the list we could determine the owner of yesterday. 777777.
It's 7-7, it's fine.
Oh, indeed. I
Sorry,
noticed.
but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number. That. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gaunt's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits. You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was that. The 7 sevens. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gaunt, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Ooh, wow. You just pissed him off.
we sure did. Man.
Should I, like, break you?
Chief Gaunt looks like he's ready for a brawl. Well, Phoenix Wright is too.
I don't think we could take Gaunt.
Oh. You don't think Phoenix Wright? I'm sure he could take him on with the power of attorneyness. We could double team him with Edgeworth.
Yes, you could double team him with Edgeworth.
Oh.
The judge can just judge.
Yep. Order! Order! Chief Gaunt, what do you have to say?
Nothing. I don't know if I was supposed to be angry or confident, but he's back to confident, so we go back to confident. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. and I would demand Mr. White be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gaunt!
Oh.
Yeah, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I am the chief of police. Whether it is the evidence room or the bathroom. What's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me. When you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
Objection! You hadn't seen him in days, Chief Gaunt. I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? The trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt.
Objection. No, it isn't, Your Honor. The trial's purpose is to determine the truth.
Drew just bitch slapped the judge. It's great.
If Chief Gaunt met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
God, that's awesome.
Yes.
In that case, huh?
It's the Edgeworth time.
Yes. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm going to have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the chief victim... Wait, what? Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gaunt on the day of the crime.
I know we talked about it before, but I don't remember exactly. I guess it was so long ago.
Yeah, I know.
That's not it. It can't be SA9 stuff. It has to be pre-SA9 stuff.
Right.
What does the floor plan say that you just clicked on?
Let's see.
Because we have the blue badges thing, we have that, but go back. Scene of stabbing there. Okay, that doesn't say any details.
Yeah. Wait, what was the... Lost item report.
To be submitted to the chief. I would present that.
Yeah. Take that! Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Yeah!
So good. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police.
Yet you're in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure he fired it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gaunt. Then you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
I accompanied him.
There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room.
Hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman.
Exactly. But wait! The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Objection! Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. But you showed us the ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, you would have been found. It would have been found on his body. He would have been found.
Wow!
No!
Did you see that?
Yes.
Lightning came out of his eye.
I think he's a bit. He might or might not be the devil.
Yeah, seriously. And we thought that other guy was a vampire, but freaking Gaunt's some kind of monster. Chief Gaunt, you didn't. The murder was most likely committed on the spur of the moment. No one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lon at the prosecutor's office. Why else? To dispose of Goodman's body.
Objection. However, the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. Don't think so.
Chief Gaunt, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue, just taking up space.
It's a blue badger.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
It has to be the... We never use the fucking... Oh, no, the screwdriver? How did he use the screwdriver to move a body? No, it can't be.
No, actually, I think for once, I think
oh,
it
yeah,
is.
because he made him go there, put the thing in there, and then he... Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he asked Mr. Edgeworth to do that, because Chief Gaunt's a dick, and he's like, hey, Edgeworth, take the screwdriver and move the body while you're at it, even though you don't know that's what you're doing.
Brilliant. Okay, you got this one. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Take that! This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. What's that? A screwdriver? What does that have to do with this case? Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... I was asked to go by Chief Gaunt, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep it at the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbing, I brought this back to the prosecutor's office. After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did, because Chief Gaunt asked you to.
You mean I...
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
You know, Gaunt had a pretty good plan going, I think, considered.
Yeah, he actually did. But we're unraveling the hell out of it. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes. Unless, of course, you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to carry evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order! 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 What is going on here? There's no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations. Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was actually the opposite.
It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gaunt, please, say something.
I believe your time's up.
Maybe that would be a good part to end the part. I don't know. What do you think?
That's reasonable, yes.
Yes. Alright, thank y'all for watching.
And we will see you guys next time.